Hi there. My name is Macy Kuang. As you know, I'm the Google developer expert for IoT, wearable, and recently I joined the category which is Google Play. I have been running my own business, which is called Miaomiao Games, for over 6 years. And I've been making video games for over 10 years, I would say. And today I will share you the tips about how to engineer your career path. As I know most of you are here, you're still in university or college. You may be on your second year or your last year. You're about to get into the field to actually start your career, or you may be already started. I moved to Canada in 2007. I'm an immigrant. English is not my first language. I had zero connection in technology. I thought I was going to become a graphic designer. I did not know if I was ever going to stay in Canada. I barely able to speak English. As much as I wish I was able to speak English, I landed at the airport where the customer was asking me questions. The words would not come out from my mouth. I could not say a word. I did not know what to say. I barely understood he was asking me for certain things. And they had to open my suitcase. And the guy found a novel. It's like English novel. He was come making fun of me, say, you have a novel, English novel in your suitcase. You definitely read it, maybe, but you cannot speak any words. And I feel so embarrassed. But you know, like book English is really different than actual speaking English. It's like the book French. It's really different than when you're really speaking French. So now, as I mentioned, I make a lot more video games. One of the most well-known one probably was the Peppa Pigs. If you ever have any younger siblings or nephew or niece in your family, they probably play video games like this. And I'm also specialized in virtual reality and augmented reality. So those are the major projects I'm working on. And as I'm here, you may know I do a lot more public speaking. As like Google developer expert, we do public speaking across the globe at different places. The fact that half a month later, at the beginning of September, I will be traveling to Portugal to speaking at the conferences that's organized by Bosch. And yeah, I think I did not mention that slide. It was in 2015, I was interviewed at Google I/O, so that was one of my highlights. What I want to say is, if I can do it, so do you. I was not a success in high school. I was not speaking English. I did zero technology-related things until I turned 18. Let's think about the education you're getting. Are we just getting that paper, or are we just getting that ring to say we made it? It's a bit more than that, because when you're graduating, when you leave that ceremony, your career just started. And it's a very common thing here in Canada. What I realized is a very culture shock for me is kids grew up here. When they finish their college, they usually plan a graduation trip. Imagine this, after you finished the 4 year or 2 years or 3 years with the struggles, you get to go to this beautiful beach, swimming around those cute pigs, and party with everyone who has made it, right? It's amazing. But then you come back to this. We're from Canada. We know how harsh our winter is. We're gonna come back to this after the snow melt, or the garbage is out. It looks so filthy. It's so different than the picture-perfect beach. And what if you have nothing planned before you leave? You graduated, got that perfect degree, or master degree, or PhD, or something, and you have nothing planned, or your classmates already got the job offer. The guy or girl who was asking you help for your homework, they got your dream job, and you're like, oh, I just actually went away, I just got back, but all my classmates already hired. And well, definitely there are people who want to run their own business. I was like, Macy, I don't really want to get a job, I want to run my own business. But did you know that? Well, the funding papers from the government were along with institutions. They're due in September and October. So if you're gone during that time, did you have enough time to prepare for your grant papers? Trust me, you will be traveling a lot when you start working. And you will actually have a worry-free travel. And that's why we need a plan. We need to have the perfect part of our amazing career, amazing business, and also get that beautiful life everyone wanted. We can get both at the same time. So the first thing I want everyone to understand is education is a game. I don't want to make it sound like it's not serious, but it is like another game. It's just you pay to play and can't get a practice to get what it tastes like to get a job or working in the field. And we need to really take advantage of this game. Here, what makes your college so special? Like a lot of colleges, they have their specialties, right? They may be really good at research. They may be good at connecting you with the industry. They maybe have special funding for special projects. The second time I went back to college, I actually got to work on research project. I was being paid double or triple that minimum wage to work on actual project that was gonna be used in the industry, and I was not the expert in the field. The school actually hired people to tell me what to do and pay me and give me real projects. It's so much better than other jobs out there, right? But those opportunities are not that visible because there is only a few positions like that. We are not likely all getting it. We need to figure out our way how to navigate the system, play the game. So did you apply for scholarship? Any of you apply for scholarship? Great, you're a smart girl. You know what? I did not apply. Somehow I thought my GPA was not high enough until I find my classmate with lower GPA, they got scholarship. It's just because I was a little bit like afraid or I did not know the system. I missed out on all the grant, all the free money out there just because I was not looking into it. There's so many perks and peaks at all the colleges and universities. We should really look into it. And how about fundings for students? I think all of you here are very smart. You took advantage of this program. I did not know any of this until recently I applied for the Ontario Engineering Month. They were giving away $500 to $3,000 to sponsor free events. Those are a lot of free resources out there just by being a student. And there are so many other benefits of being a student. First, you can get a free student checking account. It's super useful for, especially if you're a mature student. You know, you have been paid with the bank fees, and you can just switch back to being a student again. Get a student phone plan. The library is one of the most valuable resources as anyone who's in technologies. Computers are so expensive nowadays, especially if you have a Mac, or you want to use Adobe Suite, or you want to use Microsoft Office. It's expensive. And a lot of colleges have all the machining rooms. You get those machines cost millions of dollars you use for free. Laser cutters, 3D printers, free meeting rooms. You get free meeting rooms in downtown for free. You know, those are extremely valuable resources. Don't throw it away. And just take advantage of all the resources. And of course, besides using resources, we are in the educational system to learn something. And we really need to get good at one thing. As much as what the school provides, the curriculum will teach you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but if we really want to get out there, we need to get good at least one thing. As I know most of us here are more or less in technology, here are just a couple of languages we can just really focus on. You can do C++, C#, Python, JavaScript, pick something. And also apply the skill on some sort of SDK or platform or certain tools. Like for example, Firebase is really popular right now. A lot of companies are using Firebase, but it's not formally trained at schools, right? You gotta actually learn it by yourself. And machine learning, super, super popular. Again, you have to learn it by yourself. And you can do front end, you can, like me, you can make video games. You can still make Android, iPhone apps. That's still very, very popular. And of course, we need to have something to show. I think it's really similar to last talk. You are working on some sort of hackathon, some sort of projects, but that's not enough, right? When you really go out there, you need to show something that's finished. I think there is a trend in most homeworks or tests or quiz. Things are done halfway. It's not released, it's not published, it's not being used. So, well, what should I make, right? Macy was like, what should I make? I need a direction. That's why internship is really, really crucial. I think internship is the best gift to everyone in the college. It's like every job requires you to have work experience. And of course, as a newbie, I had no job experience. And internship is the best place to start. So please don't waste these amazing opportunities. And here is my internship to-do list. I will share with you. Some of you may are already doing your internship or about to do it. Here are my pro tips, how to be successful at your internship. Don't kill it, do a good job. And networking is the #1 thing you should do at your internship. Because more or less, we're not gonna get to work on very, very core technology at our internship. Like, I'm not sure how long your internship is. Some of them are 3-4 months, some of them are 100 hours. And most likely, we are doing at the job is to learn something, but more importantly is we are actually going out there to network with people. I think a lot of times we kind of underestimate the importance of this. Did you add them on LinkedIn? I see some of you are adding people on LinkedIn. That's very smart. Do that. And how do you find a mentor? Of course, at your internship, the people who are working in the field, they worked with you, they spoke with you, and they hired you. So they're more than likely willing to give you advice on tips in the business or in the career. And of course, how many references do you need for a job? Have any idea? Like, let's say when you get hired on a contract, 3, right? Especially as a junior. Like, they will ask you, do you have 3 people can be a reference, say you're legit? Where do you find those references? You maybe can find 2 professors, right? Or maybe 1 more, the people you did an internship at, right? The people who hired you. And then is if you want to have tips on how to run a business, who can you ask for, right? Of course, the people who hired you, they're already running a business. They knew how to do business tax, they knew how to register business, they knew how to do payroll, they wrote grant papers for all the government applications. Those are the most valuable people for you at your internship. You're not just there to kill the hours, to fill the form, say I complete my internship. And of course, here is another list. It's the opposite, what you should not do at your internship. Don't only hang out with your classmates. I know it's so easy, so comfortable, especially with today, a lot of colleges will send like more than 1 student to 1 company to do the internship. I know it's really comfortable, very comforting just to hang out with people you already know. So please do a favor to you and your classmates. Get out of your little bubble at work, go hang out with people who are already there. A company goes through a lot of interns. Like, I worked at a company, we trained more than 50 interns. Like, am I gonna give references to all 50 of them? No, I probably don't even remember all of them. I'm only gonna remember the people who hang out with me after work, maybe went to a baseball game with me, or maybe joined that random Slack channel, somehow joined our party. So yes, get out of your little bubble. The second thing I realized, I was really shocked, as an intern, there's people still struggling with times, right? They don't show up on time or leave too early. Somehow they're sick, somehow they're not feeling well. And just don't clock in, clock out. Like, especially as a junior, like, we did not know that much in the field. And if we also show we are not willing to learn, we are not willing to be there, we actually get less opportunity to work on real things. Because it's a high risk for a business to let interns to work on actual projects, right? Because you will be gone after 3 months. Who else is gonna be there to fix the things you left off? And a lot of interns, unfortunately, the sad truth is, if you're not showing your motivation of being there, showing your motivation willing to learn, more than likely, that intern will become a QA intern. All you're doing is testing the apps and then go. And it's really not very beneficial for us to be at like top-notch companies and not having our code being released to the public or being used. And as also mentioned, it's at work, it's more about networking and also understand the game. Is please don't ignore instructions. I know all of you here are probably the top students in your class. You probably win some competition in math or computer science, or maybe you won some prize for hackathons. Every business is run on their own way. Not all the code are perfect. If you get your dream job, you go check the code repository, you will see the code is not good. It's very common. There's a reason nothing built perfect. There's a reason organizations are not running the way that we think it should be. There's always a budget reason or resource reason or time reason. Just control our ego a bit. I think communication is always a good way to solve the problems. We will see problems. It's better just to talk with people who are training you, or you can even talk with the CEO or CTO. Ask them why things are built this way. I think there are better ways of building the system, the better way of improving it. But just don't change everything. Say, hey, I changed your whole business plan. I think your business can be better with this way. So control our ego, communicate more, understand why things are doing this way. There are a lot of times there is a reason system or certain organizations or certain code structures are being set up in a particular way. Last but not least for this internship part is we really need to learn after work. One common thing I find is a lot of engineering students don't know how to use Git. That's really stopping you from succeeding in your internship. If you don't know how to do code review, you don't know how to use Git, your code will never be published. Like, we don't use a USB to send, hey, Tom, can you please upload my code? Here is my USB. Okay, I will email you this file. It never happens at real work situations. You may do this at hackathon, you may do it as your homework, but at real working situation, you probably have to use Git or some other version of source control. So this is very critical for us to be a successful interns. Well, if you have no internship, don't worry about it. Not all internships are perfect. They may not fit you. They may not be the best opportunity for you. You can create your own internship. You can work for free for not-for-profit organizations. They're always looking for help. You can create your own project. If you have a business idea, you want to test it out, go for it. Just make sure you scope your project within a month. So maybe you're going to get it done within 3 months. Because I know, as the first time you're scoping your first project, you probably underestimate how long it takes to finish something. Of course, you can also contribute to open source. Actually, at Seneca College, where I graduated from, all the computer science students, they contribute to Mozilla. So while they're graduating, they're more or less getting a job at some open source companies, but they also publish some code on a browser that's being used by actual people. And then another point is related to networking. I think I mentioned it's very obvious we need to network with people we work with, but we often ignore our peers, and we see our classmates still as just another classmates, but there also can be professional networks, right? They are pretty much as right now on the same stage as us. They have the same information as what we are looking for. I got my internship from friends over friends, and somehow the company was looking for more people, and I just heard that from him, and I got an internship. I know, it is hard to be best friend with everyone, but you don't have to, right? Just having some sort of communication open, like just keep your ears open, be nice to people, then you will get the certain informations. Professors. I'm a professor right now. I know most students hate their professors because they grade their papers, give them too much homeworks. But professors, they're actually being paid to be there for you. They're the people there being paid to help you. If you think it the other way around, professors are supposed to be there work for you, right? This is the best time. If you have any questions, you have certain things you don't understand, they're there for you to answer your questions. And they have research projects. Trust me, they do. Especially in universities, their full-time job is not teach you. Their full-time job is to do the research projects. They have so many secret projects going on. They're not going to tell everybody, say they're looking for people to work on the research project. They're only going to tell the students they like to join their research projects. And they have industry connections, and they can be a reference for your future jobs. So please treat your professors not like a supervisor, but more like a friend, more like someone who can be very helpful to you. So a lot of us here are running the developer student group. Me, I'm running the Google Developer Group Toronto as well. And we're not just an event organizer. I think a lot of times, at least what I did at first, I was hiding behind. I was organizing the event, moving chairs, greeting the speakers, and that was it. I really encourage everyone to get on the stage. than just hiding behind. I know it's a little bit intimidating to do a full talk straight for 20, 30 minutes. I think like coding labs is a really good starting point. You have a material being presented to you. You have instructions, just follow the steps. It's a really easy way to get started. It helps us to get ourselves out there. So we are not just an event organizer, but we also are knowledgeable in our fields. And please connect with your speakers. Like a lot of events after it's over, oh, thank you, and bye, right? But do you know that a lot of your speakers are actually experts in your field? I took advantage of this so much. I always have dinner with my speakers. I always reconnect with them, and always try to catch up with them. And now, whenever I go to another city, I always have some other professional connections all over the world. Like, for example, last year, I was in London. I just met one of my speakers again. Then we went out for dinner. And this is a really good way to build up our professional network. They're not just a one-time person I happen to present in your events. So, still want to travel? Yes, we still want to travel. I will share you my tips of travel with a peace of mind. So get a job before you go, right? A lot of companies, surprisingly, they let you start a couple of months later, right? Before you're graduating, secure that job, and then go. You will feel so much better. Right now, I'm on like a month break before my next job starts, right? That's great. Like I get like a perfect month off, feel secure, worry-free. And you can travel to a conference, like all of you are here. You're traveling to Toronto. Maybe you're not based in Toronto, you're from elsewhere. And there are a couple of other events going on, like the Android Dev Summit is happening in Sunnyvale. You can travel there. And there's a Firebase Dev Summit happening in Spain. While it's a bit far, it's expensive, but women tech makers actually sponsor you 450 euro for you to travel to Spain. This is like a perfect combination. You learn something, and you also get to go to a country with amazing culture. And there are other things like a Google AI residency. There are many, many events out there you can travel to. You get the perks of being in another place, but also you get to learn and build up your network. And another thing we often ignore is exchange programs. You can actually travel for internships. I had friends who did their internship in Italy, which was amazing, right? You get to work, you also get to travel elsewhere. You can do summer camps, or you can be volunteers at different events. So we can totally get this work-life balance. We can be very, very successful in our career, but also get that lifestyle we want. So I think you can totally engineering your career path with joy, and hopefully my tips today has helped you, and thank you for being here.